How's it going, y'all? Today we're looking at my personal top 10 water type Pokemon across all 9 current generations. These are the Pokemon I love the most based on design and personality, as well as their power and usability across any of the games. To give a better chance to more Pokemon, I'll only be including one Pokemon per evolutionary line. But now that that's out of the way, let's dive right into this list. Number 10, Halafin. Lots of folks have been asking for a dolphin Pokemon for years, and I'm so happy we finally got that. And man, they did not let us down with it. This Pokemon has such an interesting, unique ability called Zero to Hero that allows it to essentially transform into a superhero version of itself after switching out and then coming back to the field. Once in hero form, Halafin has an amazing base stat total of 650. It can make a pretty extraordinary fast physical sweeper once it's been transformed. Thanks to Flip Turn and Jet Punch, this thing gets some extremely useful moves benefiting from stab as well. Number 9, Greninja. Gen 6 is probably the one I'm least familiar with. I believe I was a senior in high school when it released, so I had a lot going on and ended up missing out on all things Pokemon around that time. Despite this, I did eventually get back into Pokemon, and I thought Greninja was just awesome. Such a cool design and aesthetic overall. Plus, this is a very versatile Pokemon, with great offensive stats both specially and physically. Due to missing the hype train and never truly getting into X and Y though, Greninja just doesn't have that nostalgia or sentimental value for me that it does for so many others. If it did, I'm sure it would rank higher on my list. Number 8, Gyarados. Even though I was born in '96, the same year that Pokemon Red and Blue originally released, those still ended up being my first Pokemon games thanks to an older brother who introduced me to the series. My brother was a fire type guy, so naturally I became a water type guy. And in Gen 1, Gyarados was an absolutely incredible water type. Luckily, this is a Pokemon that still holds up today both design-wise and competitively. Even in Gen 9, I'm currently using a Gyarados on my monotype water team. With access to Earthquake and the ability to become a ground type thanks to terastallization, Gyarados can now even hard counter the electric types that it would normally fear. Number 7, Quavo. I know many people feel like this design ruined the Paldean water starter line, but I honestly think that's just false. People get annoyed at the fact that it literally never stops dancing. Again, doesn't bother me. I think the design and whole aesthetic of Quavo is hilarious and I love it. Also, my goodness, this thing can really snowball into a real monster in competitive battles. With the Moxie ability and its signature move Aqua Step, you can start stacking speed and attack boosts like crazy, and sometimes it'll just sweep whole teams because of this. I love running this Pokemon on my teams and would highly recommend people give it another chance. Number 6, Hilper. Hilper is a Pokemon that I never would have imagined myself loving as much as I do, and it's entirely due to competitive that I've grown to love it. If you're unfamiliar, weather can play a big part in competitive battles, and Hilper is the best rain setter there is due to its ability Drizzle, which automatically sets rain as soon as it enters the field. This can be huge for water types and other Pokemon that benefit from rain, including Hilper itself. This thing has been an integral part of many hard-fought victories for me, and it has earned my respect so much for that. I even kind of like its simple design nowadays, just due to how much I love its usefulness. Number 5, Vaporeon. One of the original 3 evolutions. Best known for its high special defense and special attack, as well as some unsavory memes, Vaporeon is a great pure water type worth adding to many teams. It has many great options both for supporting and attacking builds. It's a very elegant and pretty Pokemon, and its body being composed of water reminds me of Juvia from Fairy Tail, a character my wife and I are quite fond of. Number 4, Intelia. I honestly don't understand why so many people hate on this Pokemon. I admit, when I first saw this design, I was pretty resistant to it too. But after playing through Sword and Shield, the design grew on me and it really just excelled in game. I really grew to love this Pokemon. Inteleon has also been a huge staple in the TCG, both as a supporting core and as one of my personal favorite attackers, so all the more reason for me to love it. Number 3, Toxipex. What a strange pick for top 3, right? Honestly, Toxipex flew under my radar for so long, until I inevitably got a little deeper into competitive Pokemon battling and discovered the awful, but oh so valid strategy known as stalling. I then found that Toxipex is genuinely one of the best to do it, and I fell in love with this toxic Pokemon. With insanely high defensive stats and the Regenerator ability, it excels at survivability. Pair that with Black Sludge, Toxic, and its signature move Baneful Bunker, and you have a recipe for a Pokemon that will frustrate your opponent immensely while slowly ticking away at their health. Number 2. Swampert. Now here's one that probably makes a lot of sense to most people. Swampert is an incredible Pokemon, with such a good typing and stats that make it ridiculously versatile. This Pokemon excels anywhere you find it. In VGC, in Pokemon Go, TCG, wherever. Swampert is just too good, especially when you have access to its Mega Evolution. Which reminds me, look how cool this design is. Also, can we get some appreciation for how adorable its first stage, Mudkip, is? Such a cute little friend. Number 1. Squirtle. Speaking of cute little friends, this one probably doesn't surprise many, especially knowing that I started my Pokemon journey with Blue version, though it may be surprising that I picked Squirtle instead of Blastoise to represent this line. For me personally, Squirtle just wins it out, because I grew up on the original anime, and I always thought that Ash's Squirtle was so cool. You just can't beat the Squirtle squad. I even have him tattooed on me with the glasses and all. Don't get me wrong though, if we're talking about playability, then I obviously will use Blastoise. As a matter of fact, my favorite TCG deck is a custom one I built around Blastoise VMAX. Blastoise has a great design, a great Mega, and a great Gigantamax. It's even super fun to use in Pokken Tournament and Pokemon Unite. But Squirtle just hits me harder on the nostalgia and coolness factor. He's my best little buddy, very much like Pikachu is to Ash. If you'd like to see more, then maybe you'd like this video right here. Check it out and maybe subscribe to the channel if you like, and I'll see you in the next one.